Right, 5th and 6th grade, we're back in PowerPoint today, and I'm just going to glance over the rubric first. What we would need to do: a title slide with a book cover, a picture of the book cover, the book author name and title slide. Now, it might already say it on the book, but just in case it doesn't, I want you to include it, and if it does, I still want you to include that. A setting slide, and I'll show you what I mean by that. And a picture of a similar setting. So you may not have the exact setting, but a picture that could be potentially the setting that's described in the book. Facts slide, bullet points about the facts. And then the book slide, again, just the book and the author name. And then the clincher slide. Then we'll go over the last things in a minute. All right, so back over here. In PowerPoint, this is going to be pretty basic, but I'm just going to put in the name of the book and by the author. And then I also have to have a picture, so I'm going to scroll over here. I already did a Google search for the name of the book by the author, and all of these are what it looks like. I've never seen this one before. That one's kind of cool looking. We'll go with that, and we're going to save image as, and it's going to go down to right here. It'll also probably save in your download, so I'm going to minimize this for a second and just click on this and plop her in, and maximize back up and scroll back over. Okay, so now I have my book, I have my title, and my author. So I'm set there. Maybe I want to rearrange it a little bit. You don't have to, but I'm going to. Gonna center it over here. And yeah, this does look a little redundant because you see the title of the book and the author, and title of the book and the author, but that's okay because we're just checking it off the list. All right, so then I can do new slide here with this plus, not this plus because that's a brand new PowerPoint. But if I hit the down arrow on the side, I can get specific layouts. And for the next one, I don't really need much of a layout. I'm actually going to get this to be blank is what I want the next one to be because it's going to be a setting slide. So for the setting, I just want a picture of a setting that could be a setting that's shown in the book. So any of these could be the setting for Hatchet, but you want to find one that fits for your story. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, and he is not a female in the book, so I'm not going to get that one. I'm just going to snag a picture. Again, I'm going to save image as, and then I'm just going to drag it in, and I'm not going to have any words on this slide. This is just my setting slide. I don't want to blow it up too big that it gets pixelated, and it's starting to, so actually you may want to get a different picture if yours starts doing this. I'll give you an example. If I blow it up too big, you start to see it starts to look a little grainy, and that's not what you want. Now I'm not going to waste your time and go save another one. I would expect yours to be good. I'm not going to waste your time getting another one, so we'll just leave that, and I'll shrink it down so it's not pixelated too badly. So I have the title slide, I have the settings slide, and then I'm going to have a facts slide. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm just going along with my script. This is the script I have typed out. How long could you survive alone, stranded in the wilderness, set in the northern woods of Canada? Brian Robeson is left alone to fend for himself. So far, I'm just following along because you're going to present your book. And so this is the script you're going to be saying. This is what is going to be up behind you. So you may have noticed this before. It says click to add notes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste Command C, Command V, my notes into this. And what it does is when I am in slideshow, if I'm in presenter view, it's going to show up and my words are right here. So if you're ever presenting and you can see your computer, the screen behind you just looks like this. So this is all your audience is going to see. You can read this. Now we don't want to read it, but we at least want a prompt. So how long could you survive stranded alone in the wilderness? And then I can also see what my next slide looks like. And so when I'm done talking, I know what's coming up next. Okay, so slide 1, I copied and pasted that in. And then, set in the northern woods of Canada, Brian Robeson is left alone to fend for himself. So I'm going to go to slide 2 and I'm going to copy and paste that where the settings slide, because I'm kind of describing a little bit what the book looks like. So kind of describing this picture. And the next thing I'm going to have is a facts slide. This adventure novel is bound to keep you glued to the pages until the last turn for anyone who loves nature, adventure, and action. Okay, so in this new slide, I'm going to go with a title and content, and I'm supposed to have bullet points for my facts slide. So I'm going to put nature, adventure, and action. Now that's all I have to put. You don't have to put anything else. I'm going to blow it up so it's taking up most of the slide. If you wanted to, you could add a picture to it or dress it up somehow. I'm just going to add those for now. That's all you have to have. Again, you can make this as good and as awesome as you'd like. I'm not going to stop you. For anyone who loves that, I would highly recommend. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste this whole thing into my notes. And the problem is that when you do a PowerPoint, when you do a presentation, you're not supposed to read from the screen. So copying and pasting this whole thing really doesn't work well. Instead, what you're going to want to do is have a prompt. A prompt is just a reminder of what you want to say. So what I want to say is it's an adventure novel, and I'm going to put keep you glued. So these aren't even going to be in complete sentences. It's just going to be enough for me to remember what I have written. Lovers of nature, adventure, action, and recommend. And then I know the name of my book. I know the author of my book. I don't have to read that. So I'm going to keep it simple, keep it short, so that when I go to slideshow and I go to presenter view, it all shows up fairly easily here. So when I'm actually giving my presentation, I can see my prompt and I can say, this adventure novel is bound to keep you glued to the very last turn of the page. For those who love nature, action, and adventure, you'll love Hatchet by Gary Paulson. I would highly recommend you read it, or whatever. And these are just my prompts to remind me what to say. All right. So my next slide is going to be the book slide. And since I already have the book here, I can duplicate this slide and bring it down. If you want to do it slightly different, you can. But the checklist says I need the book, the author, on my recommendation slide. So actually, instead of my recommendation here, I'm going to put my recommendation here. I would highly recommend that you read Hatchet by Gary Paulson. Almost done. I only need one more slide, and that's going to be my clincher slide. And so far I've copied and pasted in all of this, so I don't need any of that stuff that's highlighted. All I need is, will he survive, will he find food, or be rescued? You'll have to read to find out. And so I need one last slide, and I'm just going to make it blank again. And I'm going to copy and paste this whole thing, so there's not a whole lot there. Again, you don't want to read it when you're presenting. This is just what's behind you. So I need something that shows, will he survive, will he find food, or be rescued? So I guess I'm thinking of a smoldering fire when I picture this, like a fire that's almost burnt out. Okay, that's a great picture, except for it's got a watermark, so it's copyright. Let's see. Let's see if we can find one without copyright all blasted over. And if I can't, I can do a better search that says like copyright free or public domain. I'll show you that real quickly, because I don't think this is gonna, ooh. Yep, no. Okay, we're gonna type in smoldering fire public domain, and what that is any public domain picture is a picture that anybody can use for whatever they want. Now, some of these are still not public domain, but it should limit it so that it's mostly public domain. Alright, I'm not going to waste more of your time. I need to just snag one. So we're going to grab this guy, save image as, save it, minimize it, and drag it in. So when I go to present, let's go back to slideshow, presenter view. That's what you're going to be able to see. Go to the beginning. All right, so I would start off my presentation. This is what everybody's going to see. And I would say, how long could you survive stranded alone in the wilderness? Set in the northern woods of Canada, Brian Robeson is left alone to fend for himself. If you love nature, adventure, and action, this book is bound to keep you glued to the very last page. And I forgot to say anything about the adventure novel. You're going to have to practice, because obviously I messed up already. Next page, I would highly recommend Hatchet by Gary Paulson. Will he survive? Will he be rescued? Will he find food? You'll have to read to find out. And that's it. That's your whole presentation. It'll probably only take 2 minutes. 5 slides long. Now what we're going to go through next is the checklist. So I'm going to minimize this so we can see it right next to my presentation and see if it all fits, see if I checked everything off the list. And actually I'm going to have to zoom out to see all this. So we're going to drop her down to about 75. Oh, that's too small to even read. 100%, there we go. And minimize back out. And I'm going to put these right next to each other so I can make sure that I have everything I need. Okay, title slide. Put cover, author name, I'm good. Setting slide, picture the setting, that's all you need. Bullet points, okay, nature, adventure, action, I have bullet points. Book slide, there's my book slide, and a clincher slide, there's my clincher slide. Now, I also have to have notes with script or script prompts. That's what these are down here. Alright, PowerPoint is easy to see, dark on light, light on dark. So this is black on white. That's easy to read. Now, if I had my background set and I really like dark, let's go with navy. Go with navy. Maybe even a darker navy. This is going to be a little harder to read, especially if you're in a room that's not lit very well. We have dark on dark. That's not going to work well. So you need some contrast, either light letters, dark background, or vice versa. Right now I have nothing. It's pretty boring. Slides are cohesive. That means they flow together. It's easy to tell. If I took any one slide out of this presentation, I could tell that it belongs to this presentation. So far, not exactly. It's pretty boring. It's all just white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a theme for my presentation. And the themes help things to be tied in well, so you can tell that it's all part of the same presentation. We'll modify that in a little bit. Slides are cohesive, neat, and have a professional look. Okay, and that's my last one on the checklist that I haven't done very well with. So I'm going to put this together so it looks like the slides are all made for this presentation. Now this is light, this is green on green, and it doesn't stick out real well. So I'm probably going to have to change that. I could just outline it. Let's give it a glow. Let's see, glow, and let's make it glow black so it pops a bit so I can actually read it. There we go. Okay. Now if I took any of these pages, format shape, format text, glow, glow black, and we'll that looks okay. No, it doesn't. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so it fits. Okay. If you took any of these pages, they would all, you could tell that any of these pages go together. If I take this page out and mixed it in with another presentation, you should be able to tell that it belongs in this one because they all have this same theme. So you'd find that in up here, themes, you'd find one that fits your book. So when you're done with that, you're ready to roll. I will have you save it, file save as, We're going to save it as, it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, but we're going to save it as book pres your name. And I believe this is number assignment 9. Yeah, we'll just go book pres your name, save and hand it in. We will be presenting these because we're going to practice how we should be presenting. So that's it. Good luck.